Hi. At the time of me making this video, the English dub of Dragon Ball Daima is about to hit theaters, and so for fun, because of the movie and the fact that Toriyama passed away recently, I figured it'd be fun to show off my Dragon Ball DVDs. So, with that out of the way, let's get to it. Okay, so before we start with the DVDs, let's first look at the thing that came first, and that being the manga. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Dragon Ball started off as a book series, and these are the versions of the books I have, these 3-in-1s. I mean, granted, yeah, there are the other ones which are better quality, but these were cheaper, and I love the covers. Anyways, yeah, this contains volumes 1 through 3. And if you can see on the spine here, it makes an image. Nice, that's the first one. Here's the next 3-in-1, where we see Jackie Chan, and this one contains 4, 5, and 6. There's the announcer of the tournament. Here's 7, 8, 9, where we see Goku with Fortune Teller Baba and Shenron. And on the back, we see a mysterious man in a mask. Here's the next one, where we see King Piccolo, along with Goku and Yajirobe in a hover car. And this one contains volumes 10, 11, and 12. On the back, we see one of King Piccolo's minions. I think her name was Tangerine. Here's the next one, containing 13, 14, 15. Here we have Piccolo Jr. and all the main characters after a bit of a time jump that happened in the series at this point. As well as this character, who was possessed by Kami. Yeah, I know, spoilers, but with how old this stuff is, I'm surprised anyone would not know at this point. Let's put that here. Here's the next one. We see Goku and Piccolo having their final battle at the tournament, and here's Kami in the background. This one contains 16, 17, 18. On the back, we see Chi-Chi. Now, here's the thing. With this one here, this contains the end of Dragon Ball, and the last few pages are literally the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. Anyways, here's the next one I have, which has Vegeta and Goku. This one contains 19, 20, and 21. On the back, we see a Cyberman. And here's some pictures from the Saiyan War. Here's the next one, which has the Ginyu Force. This one contains 22, 23, and 24. And on the back, we see Dende. And there's some of it. Here's the next one, contains 25, 26, 27. Here we have Goku when he turns Super Saiyan for the first time, or at least around that point. And here's Frieza in his third form. Here's the next one. This one has Trunks. And on the side, it tells you it has 28, 29, and 30. And on the back, we see Dr. Gero. Here's the next one, where we see Vegeta as a Super Saiyan fighting Semi-Perfect Cell. And this one has 31, 32, and 33. And on the back, there's a picture of Bulma. Now, this next one's interesting to me because here's what this one has, 34. Hang on. Just adjust that for you. Or just put it back here, yeah. Yeah, 34, 35, 36. Here's Cell about to blow himself up. And here's Goku with King Kai in the afterlife. Now, here's the interesting thing about this book. This is actually my second copy of it. And the reason being, let me just put it here with the rest. Yeah, here's my first one. And yeah, the back is kind of more or less disconnected from most of the book. Let me just adjust that for you. Hang on. Okay, well, you can clearly see what I mean. It's not in good shape, so I had to get another one. Anyways, just fix that. There we go. Here's the next one with Majin Buu. And on the side, this one has 37, 38, 39. And here's the final one, where we see Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks fighting Super Buu. And, okay, here's the thing. Oh, here's the back where we see one of his attacks. But yeah, as you can see, it says final volume, contains 40, 41, 42. I don't know. I feel like they should have picked a scene from near the end of the story, not in the middle of it. Anyways, here are some pages. And that's the original Dragon Ball in manga form, at least the ones I have. And as you can see, when you put them all together, it makes a really cool image. Hang on, let me just... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, whenever I get any DVDs or books, and when they do this, I always buy it. It's like I said, there were another version of these which are higher quality in terms of the books and page quality, but this one had the interlocking images, so I went with these ones. Anyways, this was the original Dragon Ball. Well, original Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but let's move on to the next manga, that being Dragon Ball Super. Okay, quick side note. When I was looking over the footage, I realized something. With these two books, like if you look at the top right here, the Shonen Jump logo is different. Yeah, I guess when they re-released the books, they changed the logos. I don't know why. This was just a cool little detail I just discovered as I was making this video. I thought it'd be fun to point that out. Anyways, now let's go into Dragon Ball Super. Okay, let's start this off with, obviously, Volume 1 of Dragon Ball Super. Here's the spine. And here are some of the characters, along with a brief description of what happens. And yeah, I'm going to say it, the manga for Dragon Ball Super had a really rough start because it retells Battle of Gods, more or less skips Resurrection F, and then just goes right into the next storyline, which was original for Super. Yeah, the anime came out first and then the books did, which, I don't know, was kind of weird. Anyway, this was Volume 1. Volume 2, where we see a lot of the warriors from Universe 6. Here's the back. More of the characters. Here's the page. Here's Volume 3, where it just kind of shows the characters chilling out at the beach, even though this doesn't happen in the book. Here's the back of it. Here's a random page. Here's Volume 4. And yeah, I'm just gonna say it, like, these books took way too long to get translated because it's like months and months on end, and these only have like 4 chapters a book, and yeah, it's kind of tedious. At least it feels tedious trying to wait for these. Here's the back. I mean, it does have cool stuff. Like, we never see Vegeta use this transformation in the show, or at least not until the movie Dragon Ball Super Broly. Here's the next book. But I will say this, I do really like the covers to these books. I don't remember Supreme Kai riding a motorcycle in this. Here's the next one, containing an image of something that doesn't even happen in the manga. Well, kind of. Like, it does show Android 17 being a park ranger, but yeah. Yeah, this was around the time they were setting up for the Tournament of Power. Here's the next volume, which is actually a really cool cover because it literally just shows off all the gods of destruction from the multiverse. Here's the back. Here's a random page. Here's the next volume, once again containing an image that doesn't really happen in the book, so it's kind of weird. Here's the back. Here's a page where Goku starts to learn Ultra Instinct. Now here's Volume 9, which is really interesting because in the anime, the Tournament of Power was more or less the last storyline before it just stopped. I mean, granted, we did get a couple movies, but yeah, it was around this point in the manga where after it ended, they started their own original storyline, so the manga became fun to read because it was all original stories at this point. Here's Volume 10, which is starting to show off the Moro arc. Here's Hercule in the back. Here's volume 11, which is them going to a space gas station type place. It's kind of weird. Here's volume 12. Here's volume 13, which I'll admit this cover is really cool, seeing Goku and Vegeta go up against Moro. Here's volume 14, which shows Goku in a Galactic Patrol uniform. There's 15, which I believe is the ending of the storyline with Moro, and starts off the storyline with Granola. Yes, there's a character called that in this. Here's volume 16, actually starting off the Granola arc. Here's the character I just told you about. For some reason, here's a picture of Goku Black and Super Saiyan Rose for some reason, even though he's not even in this book. Here's the next one, number 17, showing off some of the villains for the storyline. Here's volume 18, which shows Bardock. Yeah, it was kind of weird to introduce Bardock as part of the backstory for this story. Here's the back, and showing off a transformation we have not seen in animation yet, as far as I'm aware. Here's volume 19, which just shows Goku with his family. I don't know why. Here's volume 20, which I believe is the ending of the Granola arc and the beginning of the prologue to Dragon Ball Superhero. Here's 21, which is the newest book at the time of me making this video. Which is, I guess, the ending of the prologue and more or less the manga's retelling of the movie Dragon Ball Superhero. Nonetheless, just like the other books, they all have interlocking spines, and they're really cool when you put them together. And I do find it funny how at the beginning it shows off the Dragon Balls, but then once they run out, they just start showing off the characters flying through space. I thought that was fun. Anyways, let's go on to something that I think is worth mentioning, because the creator of Dragon Ball, or at least the author, passed away recently, so let's show off some of the other books that I have that he wrote, or at least was inspired by him, just as a nice little homage. Okay, so first off, let's show off Jago the Galactic Patrolman. Now, this book was weird because this character, Jago, first appeared in animation in the movie Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, and I remember in the movie theater, everyone was whispering, who was this guy? Well, he first appeared in this book, and the problem was, this book came out in North America after the movie came out, so everyone was just confused as to who he was. Nonetheless, this is kind of just more like a prequel story to Dragon Ball, and at the end, it has a really lame retelling of Goku's backstory. Like, we already had the special Bardock father of Goku, so why they had to rewrite it, I will not know. Next up, Dragon Ball, the time I got reincarnated as Yamcha. Yeah, this is just a short story someone wrote that got published, and I do mean short, like this book is pretty thin. And it's just kind of an isekai where some guy died, got reincarnated as the weakest character in Dragon Ball, and is more or less using his knowledge of the series to survive. It's actually kind of funny. Next up, a storyline which I quickly grew to love, Sandland. Yeah, right before Toriyama passed away, they were really pushing Sandland into the public eye, even though this book was written in the early 2000s. Nonetheless, I thought it was a great book, and even the anime adaptation that came years later, I thought was also really good. Especially the video game that came out around the same time. Yeah, if you're a fan of Toriyama or Dragon Ball, I highly recommend Sandland. It's really good. Last up, which I think was worth getting and just having for this video, Akira Toriyama's Manga Theater. Yeah, they've in recent years started publishing compilations of short stories that were created by authors of famous work, and this is just a compilation of stories that Toriyama wrote that got published in magazines for contests or just one-shots he did for fun. Yeah, just like Sandland, if you're a fan of his work and want to read some of his early material before he made Dragon Ball or while he was making it, yeah, I recommend getting this book. The stories here are actually pretty interesting. Granted, not all of them are great because, well, they're one-shots and he's just experimenting, but nonetheless, I highly recommend this if you're a fan of Dragon Ball. Anyways, now that the book segment's over, let's get to the part you're really here for. Yeah, sorry about the slight detour. Anyways, let's get back on track. Alright, now here's the part you want, the DVDs. Starting off, obviously, with Dragon Ball Season 1. Hang on, just focus, there we go. Okay, here's the thing. All of these DVDs had slipcovers, but I took them off because when we put them together, they look so nice on a shelf. So, if you want to know what they look like with the slipcovers, you could just go on Amazon and look at pictures of the DVDs, and you can see through there. Anyways, here's the first season. This has 5 DVDs, containing the first episode up to episode 31. Here's season 2, which has Krillin. Okay, the backs are the same. And this one contains episode 32 up to episode 61. Now here's the weird thing about this DVD that not one other Dragon Ball set that like this came with. This one came with a booklet for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, were there a lot of early versions of these DVDs that came with this, but re-releases that I happened to get just removed them? I'm serious, like, was this just an old copy I happened to find with this still in it, or were all of them supposed to include it? Someone let me know in the comments if you have an answer to this, because this booklet in Season 2 always confused me. And we'll just get that back in there. Nice, that was Season 2. Here's Season 3 with Master Roshi. This one contains episodes, let's see here, 62 to 92. There we go. Season 4, which has King Piccolo on the cover. Hang on, just raise this. There we go. This one contains episodes 100 to 122. And here's the final season, Season 5, which shows Goku after a bit of a time jump that happened. I do kind of love when you do get a bit extra of the image. That's kind of neat. Anyways, here are the DVDs. This set contains episodes 123 to 153, ending the original Dragon Ball. And here, this is why I don't have the slipcovers on them, because on a shelf, this looks so cool. And I believe there are 5-pack releases of this show which just have this and not the slipcovers. Or it comes with a special box where when you open it up, you see this. Anyways, this was Dragon Ball, so let's move on to Dragon Ball Z. Okay, now, here's Dragon Ball Z Season 1, which here has a picture of Vegeta. And just like the Dragon Ball sets, I took the slipcovers off because I just love how it all looks together. Anyways, when you open it up, you get 6 DVDs instead of 5. This set contains episodes 1 to 35. Now here's Season 2, which has Goku on it. Open it up. This set here has episodes 40 to 69. 69. No, wait, hang on. I read that wrong. This This one contains 40 to 74. There we go. Here's Season 3, which has Frieza on it. This set here has 75 to 107. Here's Season 4, where we see Trunks. This set here has episodes 108 to 139. Now we have Season 5 with Perfect Cell. And this one has episodes 140 to 165. Next up, Season 6 with Goku in his Super Saiyan form. This set contains episodes 166 up to 194. Next up, Season 7, which has Piccolo doing his Supreme Cannon. This set here contains 195 to 219. Just push these back a bit more. Yeah, that's pretty okay. Next up, Season 8, which shows Vegeta when he had the power of Majin. This set here has episodes 220 up to 253. Now here's the final season with Gogeta or Vegito. I don't really care, they're the same person. And this one has 154 up to 291. This being the final season of Dragon Ball Z. And just look at this. Tell me this does not look cool. And yes, I am aware, a lot of people hate the orange bricks. That's what these sets are called. And granted, I can see why. Like, the picture quality is artificial widescreen, which looks... yeah, it looks kind of bad now that I watch some of these again, but... seriously, how can you beat this? Also, I was in middle school at the time, and this was all that was available. I mean, yeah, there are Blu-ray steelbooks of the show out now with better, like, picture quality, but... I don't know, like, I spent so long trying to get all these. Well, the first bit anyways. The last 4 seasons were a gift from my aunt, so thanks. And since we're here, let's look at the next show. It doesn't take up too much, so I'll just have this in the background. First off, Dragon Ball GT Season 1, showing off Goku and his Super Saiyan 4. And when you open it up, once again, you get 5 DVDs. And this set contains episodes 1 to 34. And here's the last season of Dragon Ball GT, Season 2. Yeah, the show only had 2 seasons, showing Gogeta and Super Saiyan 4. Hang on, let me just move that out of the way. And when you open it up, this set has episodes 35 up to 64, plus its movie. Yeah, I'm kind of glad the movie was included, because, like, right before we bought this, I was thinking about buying the movie on its own, so seeing that it was on here was a nice bonus. And I did say this was its final season. GT was only 2 seasons. And it does have an interlocking spine, but it's more sideways, if anything. Yeah, I got this in a combo set where both seasons were just put together in a slipcover. Yeah. I mean, it is kind of weird, but like I said, it looks so good on a shelf. Anyways, let me get these out of the way, and let's get to the movies and specials that I have. Okay, let's start this part off with the first Dragon Ball movie, The Curse of the Blood Rubies. And I do love how it says movie 1 right here. Here's the back. Here's the inside with the DVD. And yeah, the inside is just a postcard and a pamphlet for other Funimation DVDs at the time. So yeah, I don't really care about those, so I'm just going to move on. Next up was the Dragon Box, or at least the movie box, and this contains movies 2, 3, and 4. Here's the back. Yeah, I don't know why, but they just dubbed these 3 movies, and then years later got to the first one. Nonetheless, here's Sleeping Princess and Devil's Castle. Next up is The Mystical Adventure. And finally, The Path to Power, which is actually the 10th anniversary special for Dragon Ball. So if you watch this movie, or at least if you're watching all 4 of these movies, and you know if the animation's different, well, let's just say there was a large gap in time, so animation got really better over the years. And yes, I am aware, there is a 4-movie box set for these films, but this is just how I happen to get the movies. Anyways, let's move these out of the way and get to Dragon Ball Z. Okay, a little side note about the original 4 Dragon Ball movies. Goku was literally voiced by a different person in every movie. I don't know why. I don't know why they couldn't just redub all 4 movies with a, I don't know, consistent cast, but yeah, I just thought I'd point that out for anyone who buys these movies and is unaware. Anyways, let's move on now. Okay, first thing I'm going to show off is this thing. Yeah, I already showed this off in my Strange World of DVD packaging video, but since we're doing all my Dragon Ball DVDs right now, I figured might as well show it again. And like I said, this contains the first 13 movies. And yes, in Japan, all of these movies got released in theaters. Here, they was like either straight to video or TV. Here's the first set, which contains movie number 1, The Dead Zone, and movie number 2, let's see, The World's Strongest. Next up, we have movie 3, The Tree of Might. Hang on, let me see if I can make this clear. Yeah, it's better. And movie number 4, Lord Slug. Next up, movie 5, which is actually the only movie in this set, which is only just one film, because on the back it's just a picture of Shenron. And this movie is called Cooler's Revenge. Next up, movie number 6, The Return of Cooler. And also movie number 7, Super Android 13. Here are the DVDs for the 2 movies. Next up, movie number 8, Broly, the Legendary Super Saiyan. And also movie number 9, BoJack Unbound. Oh. Okay, I was not expecting that. Give me a minute. Okay, that was not secure. Anyways, here are the 2 DVDs. Next up, movie number 10, Broly's Second Coming. Then after that was movie 11, Bio Broly, which uses the exact same image as on the cover of this box set. Kind of weird. Anyways. Okay, for some reason, both movies are on one disc instead of 2 separate ones. That's kind of weird. And the last DVD in this set, Fusion Reborn, which is movie 12, and yeah, I really love this movie. And the final movie was Wrath of the Dragon, movie number 13, and yeah, I really want a poster of this image. Oh, ha, got you that time. Nice, here are the DVDs. And yeah, I said, these were the theatrically released movies, at least for Japan. There were 2 other specials, and granted, yes, I do have them in this Blu-ray set, The History of Trunks, and Bardock, Father of Goku, which, yeah, I believe this is my very first Dragon Ball Blu-ray. And I'm a little annoyed these two movies were not included in the box set because these two specials are canon with the show. There we go. Okay, here. Them being on one disc makes sense because these things hold more memory. And here's a little pamphlet. Actually, what's on this? Oh, okay. It's just the movie posters. That's actually kind of cool. And then after that came Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods. And yes, as you can see, I have the uncut version with 20 extra minutes. And fun fact about this movie, at least for me, this was the very first anime film I ever saw in theaters. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Still an awesome movie, by the way. Next up, Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. Well, when did this rip? Anyways, here's the back. Yeah, this is a Blu-ray DVD combo, so it comes with both a DVD and a Blu-ray. Still a good movie, though. Way more action-packed than the first one, but had a little less on story. So yeah, these are all my movies for Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I know they're not that unison on a shelf, but I'm just happy to have the films. Anyways, let's get these out of the way and move on to Dragon Ball Super. Okay, now we're on to Dragon Ball Super. And let's start things off with Dragon Ball Super Part 1. This set here contains the first 13 episodes. Thankfully right here, there's an episode list. And there's a picture on the back of Goku in his Super Saiyan God form. Next up, Dragon Ball Super Part 2, where we see Frieza in his Gold transformation. This set contains episodes 14 to 26. Again, the episode guide, as well as a more clear picture of Frieza. Also, heads up for Dragon Ball Super, minus the one movie, these are the only two parts I have on DVD. I tried to get the whole show on DVD, but as time went on, the DVD versions became harder to find, so the rest I literally got on Blu-ray. Anyways, these are the first two parts. Next up, Part 3, contains episodes 27 to 39. And a part of me kind of feels like this set's a bootleg because I found it at like a used DVD store like shortly after it came out. And I have seen videos on YouTube of people describing how easily they can bootleg these sets. And apparently even Amazon, like, they sometimes sell people bootleg copies of these volumes without even realizing it. And I do kind of like how with the glare, like, he kind of looks like he's normal form. When you tilt it, it looks like he transforms. It's actually kind of cool. Anyways, next up, Part 4, containing episodes 40 to 52. There's the episodes. And here's another picture of Trunks. Next up, Part 5 with Goku Black and a bit of damage here. I guess there was a sticker here I tried to peel, but yeah. Anyways, this set contains 53 to 65. Here are the images. Here are the episodes. Next up, Part 6. This contains 66 to 78. Next up, Part 7, which contains episodes 79 to 91. Yeah, this is when the Tournament of Power was starting to start up, and yeah, this was awesome. I never noticed that with Gohan. You can see energy around him. That's pretty cool. Okay, Part 8. This set contains 92 to 104. Okay, this is when the Tournament of Power really got going. And here's where we see Kalefa, I believe that's her name, going Super Saiyan 2. Here are the episodes. Next up, Volume 9, or Part 9, which has 105 to 117. In the picture, we have Jiren. And now onto the final volume of Dragon Ball Super, Volume 10, which has Goku using Ultra Instinct. And the set contains 118 to 131. And yeah, that was it for the show for Dragon Ball Super. However, we did get a couple movies. First one being Dragon Ball Super Broly. And yes, I do have the DVD copy. And fun fact, I actually got this signed by the voice actor of Broly for this movie. Cool, huh? And here are some paper inserts. One for a download code, which I know for a fact will not work. As well as a little paper insert advertising the manga. Come on. And finally, Dragon Ball Super Superhero. And yeah, I'm just gonna say it. I really hate the title of this movie. They could have just called it Dragon Ball Superhero, but no, it's Dragon Ball Super Superhero. Yeah. Despite the dumb name, I really like this movie. And I do like how both discs, like even though one's a DVD and one's a Blu-ray, I do like how they're different characters. And we actually get a back image this time for this set. And that concludes my Dragon Ball Super DVDs. In case you were wondering, since I showed it off for the other ones, hang on. Here's what they would look like on a shelf. Like I said, I stopped getting the DVDs because they were getting harder to find. And that was my collection for Dragon Ball in physical media. I mean, yeah, compared to what other people have done on YouTube, it's kind of small. I mean, trust me, if you find a video of some guy talking about his Dragon Ball DVD collection, you will be horrified to learn how much there is. And no, unlike Pokemon, I'm not going to do a full retrospective on every home release of Dragon Ball that exists, because other people have done it, and by God, that's just too big of a task for me to do. And yes, these sets are referred to as bricks, well, except these ones. And yeah, I don't care that these are what I have, because, well, like I said, they were all that was available at the time, and all three sets do look good on a shelf. Anyways, this was my DVD set for Dragon Ball, as well as Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super. What does your Dragon Ball DVD sets look like? Do you even collect the show? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to hear what you guys have. Thank you for watching.